Hello, my dear students. I'm Miss Batul Masood. Today, we're going to revise Lesson 2. What are magnets? Magnets is an object that can pull things made of iron or steel. So, a magnet is an object that can pull things made of iron or steel. There's three different shapes of magnets. What are the three shapes of magnets that we have learned about? We learned about the bar magnet, horseshoe magnet, and the ring magnets. So we learned about three different shapes of magnets: the bar magnet, the horseshoe magnet, and the ring magnets. A magnet has two poles. A pole is a place on a magnet where the pull is the strongest. So it's a place on a magnet where the pull is the strongest. The poles are the S, which is the south-seeking pole, and the N, which is the north-seeking pole. So the magnet has two poles, the south-seeking pole and the north-seeking pole. Pole, place, and pull all begin with the same sound, P. Pole is a place on a magnet where the pull is the strongest. What's going to happen when we put the poles together? The poles that are the same or alike will repel each other, which is the north with the north or the south with the south. So they push each other away. Repel means to push away each other. They will push away each other. And poles that are different or opposite will attract each other. They pull themselves toward each other. The south with the north and the north with the south will attract each other. They pull themselves toward each other. So attract means to pull toward something. Repel means to push away from something. We also learned that some objects such as a steel paper clip are attracted to magnets. So not everything will attract to magnet, only the things that are made of steel or iron. And many other objects such as a rubber band and are not attracted to magnets. Attract attention. A magnet has a magnetic field. The magnetic field, it's an area around the magnet where the magnetic force is felt. We also learned about the magnetic field. What is a magnetic field? A magnetic field is it's the area around the magnet where the magnetic force is felt. So it's the area around the magnet where the magnetic force can be felt. It makes it possible for a magnet to attract or repel without touching an object. So here the magnet is not touching the paper clips, even though it can attract the paper clips. Things in the magnetic field can be attracted to the magnet even if they are not touching the magnet. If we start moving this magnet away from the hand, the farther away you get from the magnet, the weaker the strength of the field. A magnet's pull is very strong when you are close to it and weaker when you are farther away. Now let's think, how would the doctor figure out the reason behind our headache? There's a machine called MRI machine. It stands for magnetic resonance imaging. This machine, it takes pictures of the inside of people's bodies. It takes the pictures of the soft tissues inside our bodies, like the brain. The other use of a magnet, they use the magnet, a very large magnet, a huge magnet, to help sort items that are being recycled. So in the junkyard, they use the huge magnet to sort items that are made of iron and steel. It makes the works go much faster. You can sort more material. People don't have to touch this recycled material. So you only have to use a very huge magnet to sort the items that are made of iron or steel. The last example that we have learned about was the maglev train. The maglev train uses a magnetic field to lift a train. The like poles of a magnet between the train and the tracks repel and lift train off the tracks. Now open your science book on page 398. Magnetic pull. A magnet is an object that can pull things made of iron and steel. A magnet can push or pull other magnets. The magnet has two poles. A pole is a place on a magnet where the pull is the greatest. So it's a place on a magnet where the pull is the greatest. One pole is the north-seeking pole or N pole, and the other is the south-seeking pole or S pole. We also learned about the three shapes of magnets: the bar magnet, the horseshoe magnet, and the ring magnets. Like poles or poles that are the same will repel each other. Repel means to push away from something. So like poles or poles that are the same will repel each other, and poles that are different or opposite poles will attract each other. Attract means to pull toward something. To pull toward something. Now, to draw two bar magnets to show another way they can repel, you have to draw the south with the south. They will repel from each other. Attract attention. A steel paper clip is attracted to a magnet. A rubber band is not. The paper clip, it's made of steel, and the rubber band is made of rubber. So only steel and iron can be attracted to a magnet. Look at these boxes. Which things are attracted to a magnet, which are not? The things that are attracted to a magnet are all made of iron or steel. And the things that are not attracted to a magnet are not made of iron or steel. Here you have to think about something else that a magnet attracts and something that a magnet does not attract, and draw them here. Look at the way the magnet pulls the paper clips right through the hand. A magnet does not have to touch an object to move it. Why is it possible? It's possible because of a magnetic field. The magnetic field is the area around the magnet where the magnetic force is felt. So the magnet does not have to touch the object to move it. It can do it because of the magnetic field. The magnetic field, it's the area around the magnet where the magnetic force is felt. Now let's look at the picture to see some of the things magnets can do. Magnets in the MRI machines help make pictures of the inside of our bodies. It takes pictures of the soft tissues inside our bodies. The huge magnets help sort items made of iron and steel before they are recycled. And the maglev train uses magnets to lift and move the train forward. Think about something else and draw a way you use magnets. Now let's solve these questions. Circle the object a magnet attracts. You have a paper clip, penny, bottom, and screw. A magnet can attract a paper clip and it can attract a screw. It cannot attract this penny because this penny is made of copper. How did we know that? Because of the color. If the color was silver, it means that it's made of iron or steel. But this one, it's made of copper because its color is rose gold. Circle true or false. To describe the statement, a magnet must touch an object to attract it. It's false. Why? Because of the magnetic field, it can move an object without touching it. Now draw a way you can use a magnet. Write a word from a word bank on each line to complete the friendly letter. Dear Uncle Herbie, thanks for the science kit. I like the magnets the best. They make some objects move without touching them. I used the big magnet to attract an iron nail. Each magnet has two places where the pull is the strongest. These places are called poles. When two poles that are the same are pointed toward each other, they repel. They push apart really hard. I like the magnets to attract an iron nail, called poles. They repel, which means to push apart really hard. Now the last page, complete this graphic organizer. Write an important detail about magnets in each box. A magnet is an object that can push and pull other magnets and pull things made of iron and steel. A magnet has two poles, the north and the south. It has a magnetic field. That's why it can move objects without touching them. The north with the north or the south with the south will repel. So different poles will repel. Repel means to push away from each other. And the opposite poles, the north with the south or the south with the north, will attract, which means to pull toward each other. Magnets are used in MRI machines. That's all for today. I hope it was clear. If you still have any questions, you can send me on the private messages on the Microsoft Teams. And thank you for watching.